Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bible reading plan. We're in the fourth chapter of James today. This is my favorite chapter in the Bible, and I'm going to read to you my favorite 4 verses in the Bible. So it starts in verse 7 today. He says, "Submit yourselves therefore to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. Be wretched and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to gloom. Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will exalt you." And this principle here, what we can find from these few verses, is so foundational for our learning. And I have to remind myself of it, again and again and again. It's the habit of daily submission. And submission is something that is essential for salvation. The essence of salvation is saying, God, I can't get to heaven alone. I can't do this alone. I've tried. Maybe you've gone to places, you've taken your life places that God wouldn't be happy with, just trying to find happiness, find joy, find salvation, find the answer, and it all went to naught. And then you turn to God and say, God, I give up. I give it to you. I realize my sin. I know that I can't do it alone. I know I don't have the power to save me or to bring peace in my life or to get to heaven, but you do. So I lay it all down. And submission is the first step right there to getting to salvation. And the Bible or the salvation works a lot like a court case, right? It's we must plead guilty before the judge. And Jesus, in his loving kindness, as we've read, he wants to pay our fine. Say we have a lot of speeding tickets, we can't pay it, and we're gonna go to jail, and we're sitting in court. Unless we plead guilty, we can't have that sin covered for, because Jesus, he wants to come and pay all of our fines freely, because he died on the cross freely. He wants to give us that gift. But if we don't turn and say, I'm guilty, I submit, I've sinned against you, then if Jesus were to give us grace, or God were to give us salvation, it would be like he was exonerating our sin, or he was approving of our sin. But God is perfectly just, and he delights in giving us mercy, but he only can exalt or only desires or wills to exalt the humble one, because the humble one is the one who still can't do anything for himself, but acknowledges it before God and repents before God. That's why in these few verses we see so many times, humble yourselves before God. If you want mercy, if you want to be exalted, if you want salvation, you have to come to God with a humble heart, because you can't do anything for God. You can't do anything to get salvation, and no matter how much you've tried in your life, but God wants to give you mercy, but it has to be through a humble heart. You saying, okay, God, I give it up. I give it all to you. So I would ask you today, in what places in your life do you need to submit to God? Because James goes on and he talks about boasting about tomorrow in verses 13 through 17. He says, don't say tomorrow I'm going to go to this town and do this, and at this certain time I'm going to do this. And he's basically saying, don't try to control your life. Don't try to order your life in such a way that you are acting as God over your life. Instead, you should say, if the Lord wills, I will do this, or I will do that, or I'll go to this place, or I'll go to that, because that's the true humble heart, saying, I desire to do, I may do, I'm going to make it my aim to do this or that, only if the Lord wills. So I would challenge you today to be that person who says, if the Lord is willing, I will do that. Be humble in your talk, in your speech, and in your walk. Don't be like 1 John 2:16. The person, he says, "For all that is in the world, the desires of the flesh and the desires of the eyes and the pride of life is not from the Father, but is from the world." And taking your life into your own hands, saying, I got it, saying, I'm going to do this no matter what. I'm not going to consult God about it. That's the pride of life. And the pride of life is not going to get you exalted. It's going to get you knocked off of the pedestal that you've placed yourself on. So daily submit. Stop right now and submit yourself to God. Give this day to God. Give your life to God if you haven't already. Give every aspect of your life to God. Say, God, I don't know where you want me today or how you want me to do things, but I submit to you and your plan because I know it's better than mine. Humble yourselves before God and you will be exalted. Thank you for joining me in the Bible reading plan. I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye.